Welcome to my Learning in a Digital Age project entitled Where is the Teacher? My intention over the next few minutes is to find the teacher within the digital age. There they are. Well, actually, it isn't that simple, because I'm not searching for a person, I'm questioning the teacher's role within the learning environment. I intend to challenge the role of the teacher within the classroom in the digital age, and to challenge the use of digital technology within the classroom. My main theories and concepts are those that are concerned with the actual process of learning, as I am looking into the learning process within education. Hence, I am mainly focused upon behaviourism and social constructivism. I am also reflecting on my own experiences as an SKE student, my education, and my work as a special educational needs teaching assistant. A lot of my experience is centred on mathematics, and hence, so will my examples. Why am I searching for the teacher within the classroom? When I started this course, I had a strong opinion of what it meant to be a teacher. In my interview for starting the course, I talked about how I was inspired to get into teaching by my previous experiences of my teachers, and how I wanted to teach like them. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who came to the teaching profession through this influence. However, my opinion of what it means to be a teacher may be changing in the digital age. I want to think about the classroom environment before the digital age. Teachers were the unconditioned stimulus of teaching and learning. Students associated the teacher with their learning experiences as a reflexive or natural response. Through my education, I always associated the teacher to learning. It was my natural response. In fact, outside of the classroom in the local supermarket, when students saw their teacher, it was a surprise to see them taking part in normal everyday activities, because they weren't associated with anything else other than a learning experience. I think this association can be explained by looking at the teacher's personal learning toolkit or teaching materials. Textbooks, exams, and whiteboards were once the materials used to teach students, but each required the teacher's knowledge in order to be a successful learning resource for students. This meant the teacher was involved at every possible moment in a student's learning journey. However, the teacher's personal learning toolkit is changing. No longer do we use these teaching materials that are reliant on the teacher. The digital age has brought self-sufficient materials such as MyMaths, SumDog, and other mathematical applications. What do I mean by self-sufficient materials? For this answer, let's focus on one of the teaching materials, MyMaths. Students can read up on mathematical techniques, then practice these techniques, then even complete exam-style material, all with instantaneous marking and solutions provided at every turn. There is a requirement for some form of facilitator to set the students up and to ensure the learning takes place, but the teacher is no longer directly involved with the learning process. All that's required of the teacher is to set the work and check that it is completed. This style of learning is beginning to have an adverse effect on the role of the teacher. They are no longer the unconditioned stimulus. Students are no longer associating the teacher with the teaching. MyMaths provides all that the teacher previously offered, and as such has become a conditioned stimulus which causes the student's reflexive response to learn. Where is the teacher? From what I've seen, he is now the man at the desk in the classroom checking his emails while the students work. So digital technology is becoming the association for learning, but it cannot completely replace the teacher. In a classroom full of students, the teacher is the more advanced, the more knowledgeable, who helps the students master concepts and ideas that they cannot understand on their own. This is simply no longer true. The digital age is currently producing technology that can teach difficult concepts better than previous teaching methods. Evidence for this can be found in the maths app, DragonBox. DragonBox is an application specifically designed to teach students algebra. Recent tests have shown that 80% of the kids learn algebra within 2 hours. However, this is only true if the students are left to play through the game by themselves, which means that the teacher must remove themselves from the learning process. However, DragonBox still has some requirements of the teacher. In the training program it states, to transfer to pencil and paper the knowledge acquired in the game. Children must be explained how to rewrite equations line by line. This isn't directly involved with the teaching of the topic of algebra, but in fact teaching students how to extract information from the DragonBox app itself. This suggests that the teacher's job is no longer to provide the subject material, but to teach students how to learn from this material. So have we found the teacher? Well, it seems that we haven't entirely lost the teacher as we first thought, but that learning in a digital age is changing the role of the teacher. The original teacher occupation is dwindling away, and in its place is an opportunity to become a facilitator of learning. A facilitator of learning is a teacher who creates independent learning environments for students. They give the students all the materials needed to learn for themselves, rather than fed information by the teacher. DragonBox and other digital technologies are allowing this type of learning to take place. However, this style of learning is not new. Albert Einstein is recorded to have said decades before the digital age, "I never teach my pupils. I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn." This suggests that facilitators of learning existed before the digital age. Before this course, while I worked in schools, I did not see this style of teaching, which suggests that at some point we lost our way as teachers. The digital age is providing another chance to return back to providing opportunities for students to learn. The question we must ask now is whether digital technology is truly suitable for the learning environment. Let's think about the classroom before technology. I was quite surprised to learn about the lack of interaction within the classroom environment when technology isn't present.
You might say, but in school, we also have uncertainty. We don't know if we're going to get the question correct or not. Actually, when it comes to school, we prefer risks of about 87%. It has been measured at around 90%. We like to be fairly certain we're going to get it correct. And that's probably because academic failure has all sorts of implications for social and self-esteem.
But when digital technology is involved, students are willing to take a 50-50 chance. An essential part of good teaching involves encouraging and enabling pupils to share ideas and emerge understandings with their teacher and their peers. And if digital technology increases the chance for students to share these ideas, then the advantage is obvious. However, student interaction with technology in this way would reduce the amount of time spent in classroom interaction with other students and teachers. It is suggested that digital technology has a detrimental effect on communication. Terkel states that communicating through technology dumbs down our communications, and that connection to technology is a symptom, not a cure. Barton stresses the importance of classroom discussion as a place to learn and practice essential discursive abilities. What does this mean? Well, it seems that communication is crucial in the classroom. Digital technology can increase the amount of communication, but is a risk to the quality of communication. Should we be risking quality of conversation for success rate? Is it better that a student gives 5 or 6 answers to a computer screen, or 1 answer to a class of peers and the teacher? I don't know, and at this point, I don't think anyone else truly does either. As it stands, we are neither solely in a digital or physical classroom. I think this means I have a choice of how I use digital technology in my classroom. My opinion of what it means to be a teacher has certainly changed over the period of this course. I like the concept of being a facilitator of learning, but I'm wary of how digital technology will be used in the classrooms. I want to be a facilitator of learning, not the teacher who sits at his desk while the students work on the computers, and not the teacher who transfers all the textbooks to e-books because he believes that's using digital technology. And as always, I feel more research on technology is needed.